Welcome back, friends. It's Anders. Today I am making the Bijou cocktail. I'm going to show you how I make it because it's different than the original recipe. This drink is all spirit. It's a strong one. Bijou is French for jewel, and it's said that this drink, all of its various components, represent a specific gemstone. You've got gin, which is a diamond, green chartreuse, which is an emerald, and sweet vermouth, which is a ruby. The sweet vermouth is more of a brown color. But I get where they're going with it. And there's also orange bitters in this drink, which they don't mention in terms of gemstones. Topaz? I think topaz can be a number of colors. Real quick about the green chartreuse. I've been waiting to do this cocktail because, as I've mentioned before, there appears to be a chartreuse shortage. And I did have a couple small bottles of chartreuse, so I apologize if you can't make this drink. Maybe you have some, maybe you've been sitting on that chartreuse and waiting for the opportune time to drink it, and today's the day. We're gonna have a Bijou. I'm gonna make this two ways. I'm gonna make this the original way, and then I'm gonna make it my way. And we'll do a little side by side, because I like that. Some people say that you're supposed to layer this drink, which I don't believe is the truth. You could, but that's a whole nother category of cocktails. One day we'll do that. Those things are a real pain in the butt. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for more sips, tips, and recipes, and let's go make the Bijou. To the bar. And now, a reading from the Savoy Cocktail Book. Page 28. The Bijou cocktail. 1/3 Plymouth Gin, 1 dash orange bitters, 1/3 green chartreuse, 1/3 Gancia Italian vermouth. Mix well with a spoon in a large bar glass, strain into a cocktail glass, and add a cherry or an olive. Squeeze a piece of lemon peel on top and serve. This was what Harry Craddock wrote in 1930, though this is not the original print of the cocktail. That dates back to 1900, and that was Harry Johnson in the Bartender's Manual. But the ratios are the same, all equal parts, except for the orange bitters. What I want to talk about here is the garnish. It says add a cherry or an olive. Now, it's become common practice to serve this one with a cherry. I've never seen it with an olive, I've never served it with an olive, but here he calls for an olive or a cherry. Lemon peel on top, yep, that's gonna be great. So, looking at the ratios, this is an all equal parts cocktail, and it's also become common practice to tone down the chartreuse because chartreuse is a very strong flavor. It's also a strong spirit. It's 55% alcohol. However, I'm going to make the original recipe because I think that could work. I can see an olive with this drink because it reads like it's gonna be a sweeter cocktail. So it could be, balancing out the sweet and salty brininess of the olive. That might be very good. I don't think it's gonna be good, but who knows? Then I'm gonna make the ratios that I use. Now I cut back the chartreuse, which as I pointed out is common practice. My recipe, I'm going to tone it down even more. I should point out, there is another equal parts cocktail that includes green chartreuse, that being the last word. However, that one works really well because it's up against acidic, fresh lime juice. So it cuts that strong flavor, that sweetness. It works really well, but we're not doing that because that's a different style of cocktail. That's a sour. This is not. So, now the booze. For this cocktail, we will need gin, sweet vermouth, green chartreuse, and orange bitters. For the gin, this is the Plymouth Gin, which was called for in the original recipe, and it's one of my personal favorite gins. It is a drier gin. You could use any dry gin. It's gonna be very good. This is my favorite sweet vermouth, the Cocchi Vermouth di Torino, which is an Italian vermouth. I believe the original recipe that Harry Johnson wrote just said Italian vermouth. Harry Craddock said Gancia, but I don't have that. Green chartreuse, it's gotta be green chartreuse. That's the emerald in the jewel cocktail. This is Regan's Orange Bitters, number 6, but any orange bitters will do. Let's build. Now first, let's build the original all equal parts version of this cocktail. I'm gonna stir this one. You can make it however big you want because it is a full flavored cocktail and it's 9:30 in the morning. I'm doing a smaller version of this. We are gonna start with the gin. I'm doing 3/4 of an ounce. Same for the chartreuse, 3/4 of an ounce. 3/4 of an ounce of sweet vermouth, and then dash of orange bitters, or 2 dashes if you have a small dasher bottle like me. Now we can add ice and stir. This will be about 30 seconds or so, just to chill and dilute. Right away you smell green chartreuse. Smells good. Grab your chilled glassware, and we can go ahead and strain the cocktail right into the glass. Express some lemon oil right on top. In this drink, I do think the lemon is very important. That chartreuse is really strong and rich, and this will cut right through that. We are also gonna add our little olive. Set that on there. We have the original all equal parts version of the Bijou cocktail with an olive. Cheers, everyone. Honestly, it's not a bad cocktail. You get chartreuse, green chartreuse, big time. I definitely get a little bit of the sweet vermouth, but for me, the gin is essentially lost. So I would say this is a chartreuse-based cocktail. It is very rich, rather sweet, so I'm gonna try it with this thing. Actually, I like that better than I thought I would. It's a little strange for me. I do like chartreuse with cherries, so I probably would still pick a cherry as a garnish. The brininess, it's an interesting move. I am left with a little like herbal olive flavor that is questionable. So let's fast forward to version number 2. But first, a quick word from our sponsor. Oh, hey. Today's video is sponsored by Dr. Squatch. Dr. Squatch makes soap for men. They also make deodorant and hair care products. And the thing about Dr. Squatch is they use all natural ingredients. Look on your current soap. All of those things that are on the back, I have no idea what they are. But if you look at the back of the packaging for Dr. Squatch, it's a short list of all natural ingredients that are in their products. And they also have a long list of wonderful smells, including coconut castaway, alpine sage, bao chicka wow wow, bay rum, you name it. This is my current favorite. This is grapefruit IPA. But I go back and forth between what my favorite is. They all make me smell good. In fact, I go out and people always mention how good I smell. They either say that or, excuse me, sir, can you get on my way? Long story short, you can join hundreds of thousands of other men who smell good. Because Dr. Squatch is sponsoring today's film, I can pass along savings to you. New customers will receive 20% off orders of $20 or more if you use the code DSQAnders and the link provided down below. I used to just bathe like a normal person, and now I bathe like a god. Thank you, Dr. Squatch. If you could get out of my way, I need to finish getting ready. Thanks, Anders. I apologize, and you're welcome. The Bijou that I make. Start with the gin, 1 1/4 ounces of gin. To that, we will add 1/4 ounce of green chartreuse. Doesn't sound like a lot, but you're still gonna taste it with just 1/4 ounce of green chartreuse, trust me. Now we can do the sweet vermouth. We're gonna keep the same at 3/4 ounce. The orange bitters, 1 dash, unless you have a small dasher bottle like me, then we'll do 2. Now we can add ice and stir. Another 30 seconds. I am gonna garnish this with a cherry, so get your cherry ready. That's probably pretty good. Get your glass. I'm gonna drop a cherry right in the bottom. You may be wondering, isn't this going to impart more sweetness? Well, it does a little bit at the end of the cocktail, but also we are taking out some of the sugar by removing some of the green chartreuse. So it works. Go ahead and pour the cocktail into the glass. And once again, just like before, lemon zest right on top, the sides. And this, if you were to come to my bar and order Bijou, this is what I'd serve you. Oz, could I invite you on to taste these?
Okay.
All right, I have an olive for you. Oz has never had a Bijou cocktail.
I've never had either of these, so I'll try it. So I will try the original now.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
What do you think?
It's not bad, actually.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
No.
It is kind of sweet, but...
Do you get the gin?
No.
Okay.
Maybe it wasn't meant to be a gin cocktail.
That's a valid point. I do think it's interesting that the gin that both Harry Craddock and Harry Johnson, there's so many Harrys in the cocktail world.
Yeah, weird.
Both of them said to use Plymouth Gin. And I love Plymouth Gin, but I do think in the all equal parts, if you use a London dry gin, it's probably gonna stand out a little bit more.
I'll try the olive.
Yeah.
See what happens. Okay, it's not bad.
It does work.
Yeah, it's not like mind-blowing. I don't know.
Nice.
Palate cleanse. Anders' version that he claims is better. We'll see. Different. There's like much more gin to cut through the sweetness.
Try it and then have the cherry.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
Do you taste the chartreuse?
Yeah, it tastes the chartreuse.
Okay, good. Clearly, Oz doesn't have a preference, so...
In terms of it not being overly sweet, I think I prefer the Anders version, but I might sometimes be actually in the mood for the original version.
Get out of here.
Okay.
So there we have it, a Bijou for you. Let me know in the comments down below what ratios you use. Here's hoping that you get some chartreuse. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe. Thank you to Dr. Squatch for sponsoring today's film. I'll see you next week. Cheers.